Hey guys, it's Ro. I wanted to make a video because I have been seeing a ton of these awesome rainbow bagels all over the internet and they look so cool that I wanted to make some. So today we are gonna be making homemade rainbow bagels. Let's get started. The things you will need will be 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of warm water, 3/4 teaspoon of barley malt syrup, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of barley malt syrup. And yes, there are 2 measurements of this, and that is because we will be using them at different stages. 1.5 teaspoon of sugar, 1 1/8 teaspoon of active dry yeast, and then we're gonna need some food colorings. These are all electric colors. We've got pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The first thing that we're gonna do is activate our yeast. In front of me, I have got a small mixing bowl, some warm water, yeast, sugar, and this one is our 3/4 teaspoon of our malt syrup. So let's take our warm water, pour it into the bowl, pour in our yeast, our sugar, and our 3/4 teaspoon of syrup. Hi. Then using a whisk, we're gonna mix together and then set it off to the side for about 5 minutes until it's foamy. Ooh, look at that. Our yeast is ready. You can see the top, all the little bubbles. It's starting to look foamy. I brought out my favorite stand mixer. It's my little watermelon one. We're gonna pour in our yeast. Then we're gonna add our first food coloring dye. I'm gonna be starting with pink. Add as many drops as you'd like till you get the vibrancy, the color that you want. Then we're gonna add all of our flour and salt, and I'm gonna mix it together on a low speed for about 8 to 10 minutes. We want our dough to get really stiff, and if you're noticing that your dough is a little too sticky, then I've got a little bit of excess flour to lightly sprinkle in and a spatula to scrape down the sides. This is what it looks like. It's ready to proof. In this bowl, I've sprayed it with some light baking spray so that our dough doesn't stick while it's proofing, and I'm just gonna place it right here in the middle, and then I'm gonna move it around just a little bit so it gets a little bit of oil so that it won't stick to any side. Now I'm gonna take a piece of plastic wrap, cover the top. Our dough is now ready to proof, which means it's going to grow in size, but I want all of my doughs to do this at the same time, so I'm gonna pop this into the fridge while I make my other doughs and keep putting them in the fridge, and then when they're all ready, I'm gonna take them out all at once and let them sit out at room temperature and proof all together for about 30 minutes. Just a reminder, I'm gonna be doing this process 5 more times because I want to have rainbow bagels with 6 different colors, but you can do however many colors you'd like. We've got all of our doughs. They have proofed for 30 minutes, and look at them. They have grown, doubled in size. This is the fun part. You punch the dough about 3 to 4 times to get out all of the air, and then we're gonna reform them into balls. Look how nice and fluffy it is. Now the fun. Boom, 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 boom. Hulk smash! There you go. There's not very many recipes where you get to punch your food. Our dough is ready to roll out. So now we're gonna take a little bit of flour, sprinkle it on our work surface so that our dough doesn't stick. And then over here, I have a piece of parchment paper, which I have sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray, and I place it on top of a cutting board so that I can pick it up and move it around as needed. I'm gonna start with pink. I'm gonna try to roll it into a rectangle shape. Our pink dough is all done, and now we're gonna roll out the rest of our colored dough and then stack them on top of the pink in the order of pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And now we're gonna let our dough rest for about 30 minutes. We're gonna cover it with a clean cloth. I've just got a little clean kitchen towel. Just cover it up. Again, we're gonna let it sit out for about a ½ hour in a warm, dry room. You can't have any yet, we haven't baked them. After the dough has rested, I flipped it over so the pink side is up, the purple is on the bottom. You're gonna take a sharp cutting knife and you're gonna cut a strip all the way down about 1.5 inches thick. And don't let your dog sneak a bite. Gotta keep your eye on them, especially when they're French bulldogs. Now take your strip that you just cut and you're gonna twist it to twist all of the colors together. Once you've twisted the dough, now you're gonna wrap it around your hand just like this, and then I just break it off just like that. sheet. Then you're gonna flip it over and I'm just gonna roll it seam side down. We're gonna place these onto a sheet. Over here, I've got a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I've lightly sprayed the surface so it won't stick. I've shaped some of my bagels over here on the baking sheet, and now we are going to let them do their final rest. You're gonna take that clean cloth, cover them the last time. Once your bagels have rested for 30 minutes, we're gonna take them and our malt syrup over to the stove. With a large pot filled with water, turn your stove to high heat. Once water is boiling, add 2 tablespoons of malt syrup. Reduce your heat to low so your water is simmering, then gently drop your bagels into the water a few at a time so that they don't stick together, and let them sit for 30 seconds. Then flip them over for another 30 seconds. Using a slotted spoon, remove the bagels and transfer to a lightly greased parchment-lined baking sheet. After you've boiled all of your bagels, immediately place your bagels into the oven and bake at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Ta-da! Here are all of the rainbow bagels that we made today, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like darker outside. I made so many of these, I got a little bit carried away. This is the first time that I have ever made a homemade bagel. I have never made bagels before, and this recipe is amazing. They're beautiful. They look like a tie-dye shirt or something. You can spread whatever you'd like on them. You can spread jam, peanut butter, a little bit of butter, whatever you like on your toasted bagel, but I'm gonna be doing a little bit of light cream cheese, and I've mixed in some rainbow sprinkles because I saw people doing that, and I actually tasted it, and you can't really taste the rainbow sprinkles. It isn't as weird as it looked. It actually was yummy. Okay, I gotta do a taste test. All go. Fresh bagels. Mwah! Yummy! I hope you guys enjoyed watching how to make DIY rainbow bagels. If you guys have any other ideas of any other DIY projects or things you would like to see me bake, please leave me a comment down below. All right, thanks again, you guys. Bye-bye!